Hello and Happy New Year from Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. I am coming to you with this transmission in a state of deep gratitude and what feels really alive for me that I want to be sharing with you is the power of energetic resetting. So, a lot of the time, what happens when people decide to go deeper into their work with me, when they decide to join one on one or to join a container or to upgrade into VIP or to expand their capacity to be receiving deep nourishment and support in their life, is that a massive energetic reset happens. A reset happens in the way that your nervous system and your body and your whole life get to have like a refresh button where a new wave of energy allows for you to see things differently, to respond to life differently, to think differently, to believe differently, to open your mind, your body, your spirit, your nervous system to possibilities that are beyond what were available for you before or what seemed accessible or possible for you before. This is one example of what I call an energetic reset. And as we are in the first week of the new year, the first days of 2025, this is such a prime time to give yourself an energetic reset. And this is something that you can do whenever you desire to, when you're noticing that you're feeling like stuck or stagnant, or that you might even be having a lot of growth or having a lot of momentum, but it doesn't quite feel good in your body the way that it's happening. I see this happening with some of my clients who are extraordinarily successful, having high cash months. They're serving hundreds of people, serving thousands of people, but it doesn't feel good. It feels like it's stressful. It feels like there's pressure. It feels like it's not quite ever going to be good enough. It feels like it is going to come at a cost, or that it is coming at a cost that's sacrificing your freedom or your time or your well-being or your joy. And the reset that can happen in that respect can be fused in with what I love to call the pleasure palace. As you know, inside of my world, or if you're getting to know this, the pleasure palace is a way that you just ooze yourself, embrace yourself, revel yourself in the things that let your body feel really juicy and rich and overflowing. There's science behind this too, in terms of the way that the nervous system feels more safe and free to expand in your capacity when you are going through something that feels scary or that feels edgy or that is really stretching you. By allowing yourself to have more of these different practices, these different pleasure practices, you're retraining your nervous system, you're rewiring your nervous system to know, I get to feel good in this. I get to grow through this. Like, I am rewarded when I do hard or challenging or scary things. And this doesn't mean that it feels good all the time, but it means that it gets to feel better and better and better, that life gets to feel better and better and better. So how I welcomed in the new year is I took the last few days mostly offline, off grid, and in deep presence with my life. This was such a powerful reset, and it has directly resulted in higher cash flow, in deep fulfillment and connection with my body, with Mother Earth, in feeling more anchored into a higher level of my work, in raising the standard for my life and for who gets to connect with me, in what kinds of ways we get to connect, and in reminding me what it is that I truly value and that I want to be creating even more of in my life. So in that reset that I just did, it started on the 31st. I went on this beautiful hike, and I was in the forest here in Brazil. I hiked most of the day up to Cristo de Demo. I think that's how you say it. The beautiful monument here. That's one of the New World Wonders in Rio, and had this glorious view of the landscape, the ocean, the forest, the city, and spent the night on the beach. There was a free concert here, and was dancing and playing in the most exquisite fireworks show of my entire life. This is seriously it's the best New Year's experience I ever had in my life. And I was so deeply present for it because of the way that I was choosing to reset my own connection to, one, the internet, two, social media, three, to the people that I'm with, the people in my life, to my clients, to my community, to myself. And in that fullness of just like so full of joy and ecstasy and bliss while I'm dancing in the ocean as the new year comes in. The fireworks are just out of this world. The music is amazing. I'm dancing. I'm having the time of my life. And I'm like, what better way is there for me to continue to anchor in these new frequencies to allow for this reset to really deepen in my life than continuing to be in what creates wealth for me, right? And what amplifies my wealth. And this is going to be unique for you in your life. For me, that is dancing, that is music, that is nature, that is friendship, that is sensuality and sexuality and being in my body, that is being open to the unexpected and spontaneity and allowing myself to be in the flow of life. And that's exactly what I did. Later on that day, we ended up having a jam session. I was singing and playing guitar. That's some of like my greatest joys in life. And the next day, I took this beautiful bike ride all along the coast of the Botanical Garden, which is one of my favorite places to be, and soaked in all of the trees and the nature and got to feel the aliveness, that freshness of, wow, I'm filling my life very intentionally, very consciously with the things that light me up. And I allowed for life to support me, right? And what happened when I came back online, or when I was reintroducing myself, easing myself back into my social network, social communities, into the online space, is I had that reset, which had allowed me to really embody what it is that I am expanding in this year before I was connecting with the virtual realm, world. And this reset that you can have, it doesn't have to necessarily need to be a social media detox. It doesn't need to be going off grid. It can simply be like you setting aside time to do something that you love with the intention of it being a reset, a recalibration of, I get to feel joy, I get to feel pleasure, I get to do the things that give me energy, right? All of these things that I was doing, they give me energy. And this is what regenerative money does, right? The way that I circulate and steward money, and the way that my clients do, and the way that my community does, and the way that I coach and I teach it, is you are circulating and stewarding money in ways that give you life, and that give life to the things that you want to be supporting, or that you stand for, or that are in alignment with your mission or your values, right? And so when you allow for yourself to use money in that way, to let it out in the way that gives you joy, that gives you purpose, that gives you fulfillment, that gives you bliss, it comes back in that way too. And then it continues to expand and it continues to grow. And then you have a higher capacity to be able to steward bigger, wilder, juicier wealth while you're living a life that is revolutionarily rich, that is wildly overflowing in your leadership, in your service. And when I reset, every time I reset, whether I'm going off grid, whether I am sitting in ceremony, whether I am simply taking a day to be out in nature, going for a hike, or going to a garden, or going to the beach, which is really what I spent most of the last 3 days doing, I show up for myself. I show up for my work. I show up for my people, for my clients, for the things that I am so devoted and committed to serving in my highest ability, with so much more of a capacity to be fully present, to be dropped into my power, and to be in my liberation, my most authentic, real expression, because I'm so deeply connected to myself. And this is the invitation that I have for you as we enter into this new year, and as you are choosing into your rising for 2025, choosing into your reclamation for what this season, what this chapter gets to hold for you, and allowing yourself to reset as much as possible so that you can stay aligned with your highest purpose and your highest joy and your highest bliss. And that when you go through the things that don't feel good, when you go through the challenges, when you have the unexpected hiccups that are inevitable, when you are working through the different edges that come with higher responsibility, with more wealth, with more impact, with more visibility, with more all of this really comes down to having more power. Honestly, it's like it's holding more of your own power. But when the inevitable things that come up that are hard or that are sticky or that you might have trouble navigating or struggling through, you get to constantly come back to this. You get to always reset. You get to always realign yourself. You get to give yourself the space, which is pleasure activism, spiritual activism, transformative justice. Like these are all intertwined with activism, by the way. You get to give yourself radical rest. You get to give yourself radical pleasure. You get to give yourself radical joy in a world that wants us, through systemic oppression, through internalized capitalism and internalized colonialism and patriarchy, that wants us to overwork, that wants us to overstress, that wants us to push too far, that wants us to value our worth based off of productivity. It's a radical revolution to choose to give yourself these things that are not only necessary for your quantum growth, but that are actually the key. They're the hack. They are the shortcut to your quantum growth in regenerative money, in life-giving, decolonial wealth that allows you to serve yourself and humanity in your greatest capacity and potential while still feeling nourished and replenished and taken care of, and creating higher and higher baselines for your cash flow, for your service, for your leadership. So I am so excited to be entering this new year with you here, rising with me on this extraordinary year. I'm so excited. There's just been a lot of juice coming through. So much is being left behind. So much is coming in. And I want to give you an update as well that Watch Me Rise needed to shift in the time. So it is now going to be January 21st through 23rd. So about 3 weeks from now, I think it's about 3 weeks from now. Yes, that the date needed to be moved, which is so beautiful. I'm sorry if you were really counting on it being when it was, but now that it's this new date, I'm so excited because I know that the space that it needs, that has come through for me, is giving it so much more richness and medicine to be poured into it. And I'm devoted to giving you the absolute best, most expansive, transformative experience for you inside of Watch Me Rise, so that you can really rise into 2025 and set yourself this month up to thrive through the rest of the year, and how you're relating to money and how that is serving your impact, your mission. So burning and alchemizing the old money stories, beliefs that aren't serving you feeling regenerative, you feeling replenished, you feeling so full in your work, in your medicine, in your magic, and to step into this new embodiment, this new identity of yourself, where the greatest, wildest overflow becomes the baseline of how you exist, of how you operate in a way that feels super pleasurable and that energizes you and it makes you feel alive. So make sure that you join with the link below for Watch Me Rise. Well, it's only $25. It is currently 80% off. I'm pretty sure, yeah, 80% off. And the price is going to rise 10x probably in the next few days, it will have a price increase, a price rise. So if you want to get in while it's in a crazy, insane price, you can join in now. And if you're listening to this, it is honestly one of the days is worth the whole entire full price. So you're already still getting a really incredible value. And I'm sending you so much love. I'm blessing up the rest of your week. Also, if you happen to be listening to this at a different point in time that is not within 2025 and that is not within this month, this same principle, the same teaching applies to it's a universal concept. It's a universal teaching. So you can apply the energetic reset to any point in your time. Whenever you know you need to get clear with the new version of yourself that you are allowing yourself to rise into, and let yourself have that reset regardless of when you're listening to this, regardless of what year it is, regardless of what month it is. This is available for you at all times.